Hey, what's going on, guys? Samson here again, and today I actually want to dive into something that I think a lot of you guys are really going to appreciate, and it actually has to do with the OneXFly F1 Pro. Honestly, without even having my hands on this device yet, and from my experience with the OneXFly X1, I can already tell that this device is going to be simply amazing, and it's, in my opinion, the best gaming handheld device yet. Okay, this company called OneXFly has always been pushing the boundaries, and this latest release is no exception. But before you guys jump on the hype train, there are some really important things that I think you guys really need to sit down and consider before pulling the trigger to get this device. And of course, it's not something bad about the device, but something else I had to actually learn the hard way. So while the OneXFly F1 Pro has all the bells and whistles, there are some details that I think no one is talking about. Let's start with the price, okay? Ask yourself, is the premium price tag for this device really worth it? Because I think, for most people, they are probably feeling the pull of, the fear of missing out. And in case you don't know, that's exactly what marketing strategies are designed to do. But what I want you to do is to ignore the marketing for a second, okay? Just ignore it. Let's dive a little deeper into the cost of this device in relation to what you're actually getting. If you're like me and you live outside of China, say in the EU or in the US, you should know that there's an added layer to the cost. And by added layer, I'm talking about the import tax. Let me give you guys a quick example. So when I got my OneXFly X1, it was listed at $1,499. But by the time it arrived, I had to pay an extra $200 in import tax, which actually brought the total to $1,700. Don't get me wrong, guys, OneXFly X1 is a fantastic handheld, and of course I had a lot of fun with this device. It's premium. But after a while, I started to have this buyer's remorse, and I thought for $1,700 I could have actually gotten the Asus ROG Ally X along with an external GPU, or you can actually get the Lenovo Legion Go as well with an external GPU, and you're gonna come at that price. Or better still, I could have held off till Black Friday and gotten myself a proper gaming laptop with something like a RTS 4070 Super, which obviously is going to give me an even better gaming performance than what the OneXFly X1 offered. Okay, which brings me to the OneXFly F1 Pro. So if you're in China, it's a no-brainer. I mean, of course I would get it, but if you're not, it's a totally different story. And again, don't be fooled by the marketing, which, if you haven't noticed, it's mainly focused on the model with the HX 370 CPU. And if you go on their website, the base model for that one with just 32 gigs of RAM and only a terabyte of SSD starts at $1,339. And that is it being on sale actually. Original price is about $1,500, I think. And also remember, we're still talking about the base model of that device. Now, add the import taxes and you're easily looking at $1,600 if you, of course, you get it on sale, and $1,800 without the sale. And for what? An OLED display, a slight, probably 20% bump in FPS over other handhelds, plus it doesn't even include an Oculink port. That's something to actually think about. And yeah, there are other models as well, like the ones with the AMD 78840U and the one with the HX 365, which in my opinion, they are almost similar in terms of performance compared to the other handhelds that we already have, like the Asus ROG Ally X and the ZOTAC Zone right here. And of course, with maybe about a couple FPS more and smoother gameplay due to the 32 gigs of RAM. But I'm very sure that those aren't the ones people are looking to get. However though, based on how this device is marketed, most people might end up settling for those ones because of course, they just don't want to miss out, okay? And yes, they are considerably more expensive as well than the other handhelds. For the past couple weeks, even before release, the model with the HX 370 chip has been pushed really hard through marketing. But for that hefty price, let's compare it now to a lesser marketed device that was released almost the same time. I'm talking about the ZOTAC Zone right here, okay? In my opinion, this device has been criminally underrated. You see, I've been using it for 3 weeks now, and I can say that with recent updates, it's become a solid contender. And if I'm being honest, I would say I now prefer this one over the Asus ROG Ally X, even though, of course, the battery life isn't comparable, and the RAM size, of course, is really not great on this device. But it actually runs most games pretty well right now. And now, when compared to the OneXFly F1 Pro, the ZOTAC Zone, in my opinion, starts to seem more reasonable. By the way, at this point, I know what you guys are probably thinking, and no, this video is not sponsored by ZOTAC Zone, okay? And I'm sure they don't even know that my channel exists. Anyways, moving on, this device features an AMOLED display, which is actually a type of OLED. But what makes AMOLED stand out is the added tech that gives better control over each pixel. In simpler terms, it makes the display faster, more vibrant, and perfect for gaming. The colors really pop, the contrast is incredible, and the brightness on this thing is just next level. Honestly, it's one of those displays that you have to see in person to fully appreciate. And I even got to appreciate it even more, when I placed it side by side with the ROG Ally X recently. And the ergonomics on this device, the ZOTAC Zone, also feels and looks better. In my opinion, after my experience with the controller size and ergonomics of the OneXFly X1, I can already imagine me preferring the ZOTAC Zone's ergonomic more than that one. Also, they both have similar display sizes. Although, of course, the ZOTAC Zone bezels are slightly bigger, which for me, it's not a deal breaker, but I've seen people using this as a point to say that the OneXFly F1 Pro's display is better. But anyways, each to their own opinion. Also, the battery life of both devices are practically identical and equally underwhelming at 48 watt-hour. From my testing of the ZOTAC Zone, I was able to get an hour and 7 minutes while playing at 30 watt TDP at mostly medium 1080p settings. And from ETA Prime's review of the OneXFly F1 Pro recently, he also did mention something about, I think, an hour and 8 minutes. I can't remember. Yeah, but I think it's similar. Both of these devices have dual USB 4 ports, but neither of them includes an Oculink port, even though the price difference is night and day. So why do people still think that the OneXFly F1 Pro is better? And again, of course, I'm not denying that the performance is indeed outstanding on the OneXFly F1 Pro, but for what you're paying, it still doesn't come close to a traditional gaming laptop performance, even though the price is encroaching into that gaming laptop zone, right? Which brings me to the conclusion, guys. Instead of spending $1,600 or more on the OneXFly F1 Pro, why not just get the ZOTAC Zone or even a Legion Go and pair it up with an external GPU if you want the performance? Because honestly, in that case, you still get the AMOLED gaming experience if you go with the ZOTAC Zone with a much better performance than the OneXFly F1 Pro. For me, $1,000 should be the maximum to pay for a gaming handheld. $1,200 if, of course, you include the taxes. Anything more than that, I would just say get a gaming laptop or an external GPU with the Legion Go or the ZOTAC Zone. For me, after a long time using all of these devices, I've come to the conclusion that no company is going to give us the perfect device, no matter how long we wait. Think about it. Do you think giving us a device with everything that we want would be a problem for them? Of course not. But they just wouldn't do that. Why? Because they know that at that point, they would essentially kill their own market for version 2.0 of that device. Think about it. What reason would we have to upgrade later on if the first release is perfect? So that's why instead they give us just enough to impress us while holding back features to keep us wanting more. And that's how they keep us in the upgrade cycle year after year. It's smart business, but it's something that we need to be aware of as consumers. So here are my final thoughts about this, okay? The OneXFly F1 Pro is truly an impressive device, no doubt, okay? But for the price, especially with import taxes factored in, I think there are better options out there for you guys. The best option right now for me is the ZOTAC Zone and getting an external GPU. But by all means, if you're able to pick up the OneXFly F1 Pro for a cheaper price and you just want the new out-of-the-box performance of the new internals, then of course go for it. Just do you, okay? Guys, if you have anything to say about this, if you agree with me or if you disagree, it's fine. Just be nice about it. Put it in the comment section below, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye for now.